Welcome everyone back to Spoiler Warning. This is your premier interactive wrestling news show, and we have plenty of wrestling news as always to share. We are focusing on SmackDown's move back to the USA Network tonight after 5 years on Fox that clearly did not quite go as intended. It also marks something of an anniversary for me because it was 5 years ago I reported that Fox would be opened with The Rock, that The Rock would be working with Becky Lynch, and that is how the show would be going. It's been 5 years of good old-fashioned Fox and quite an anniversary to me. We'll be talking about Roman Reigns, The Rock, and a focus on War Games. We're going to be talking about NXT, its move to the CW network and what the WWE are hoping to do, Bobby Lashley and MVP's negotiations with AEW, the training in the Performance Center ready for NXT debuts of Julia, Stephanie Vaca and Delta. We're also going to be talking the new SmackDown logo, which we've been able to confirm on the shorts side. If you want to have a look at that logo, just check out your shorts feed for this channel now. We've got a little bit about LA Knight, which I'm too old to really understand, so I might need your help for that one, and a little bit on Bayley's position in the locker room at the moment as well. So we will be diving pretty deep into a lot of that information and getting through as much as we possibly can, because tonight, SmackDown, brand new, brand spanking new, move backwards before eventually moving on to Netflix for international shows. I want to say thank you for Mark already jumping in, renewing his membership for a 7th month. Because wow, didn't realise it's been this long. It has been a little while, mate. 7 months of excitement. We are live on YouTube, Twitch, and of course X, formerly known as Twitter, all at once. This is one of those random shows where I have indeed decided, you know what, let's throw some stuff onto X and see if anything bites. They won't. But it's nice sometimes to see if anything can happen there. If you are interested in seeing more of this stuff on X, let me know, and we'll see if that can be something we can make happen. But we will continue to dive into more news as it comes. And Corey, thank you for that generosity. That is a very generous donation. So hey Tom, any update on the Motor City Machine Gun and Lucha Brothers? Joking. Any update on KO's contract? WWE are absolutely confident that KO's contract will go through without any hitch whatsoever. Kevin Owens is said to be excited about a new chapter and not particularly pushing for higher levels of storyline. So he's not necessarily sat there saying, I want championships like we had with Drew McIntyre. Kevin Owens is believed to be confident at the stage of his career that he is in, eager to continue with the WWE because he's had a very good time there so far. No problems, no beef, no dramas. Should be nice and easy. Thank you once again for another very generous donation. I appreciate you. If people can remember to hit like on that donation, it does help in general, and I do feel it's a great way to give back to those who are giving back to this show. So appreciate you all for that one. I'm going to start with our top story now. Our top story naturally is regarding tonight's SmackDown. Triple H has announced that they are opening SmackDown with a cage match between Solo Sikoa and Cody Rhodes. This will be for the WWE Undisputed, not Universal Championship, and they are largely, at least Triple H, is trying to drop the Undisputed part and just call it the WWE Championship. So we'd have the WWE Championship and the World Championship. Naturally, that's the differentiation they've made in the past. Because this is opening the show, and as I've already reported, we're expecting Roman Reigns to appear, the WWE aren't even hiding it anymore, my expectation is that they've got something big for the main event. Something very big for the main event. The obvious choice seems to be The Rock. The Rock, as I reported 5 years ago, was going to be opening SmackDown on Fox. There is no one of greater association with the term SmackDown than The Rock. And what I will say is that I can confirm that The Rock has had creative input in this show. So The Rock has been directly involved in planning this event. With this in mind, despite having 2 PLEs in between, Bad Blood and of course one in Saudi Arabia, I'm told the WWE now focusing fully on War Games, tonight being the next step in our War Games match, which will be the Bloodline Civil War. That's what I'm being told. That's what I'm excited for. The cage match will take up the first 30 minutes of the show. There will be no commercial breaks. It'll be a PLE level match, and you'll see plenty of big names involved, including, as mentioned, Roman Reigns. So we've got that to look forward to. At least that's what I'm looking forward to myself and what I'm excited for. Welcome everyone. At this point, I'm going to catch up with the chat, make sure everyone's doing okay. We have 81 people watching on YouTube, 26 likes. If we can get that ball rolling and keep that ball rolling, I should say, I'd be very appreciative. We're also live on X, where you can, of course, follow me as well. We've already got 56 people who've checked in over there. So if this is not, if I'm not someone you follow, now might be a good time because a lot of good stuff is coming. I promise you that. So I have plenty of people saying hi. Hello from Trekopedia, hello from Mark, hello from Joe, hello from Leon. Spiderboss says, hello Tom, I don't get it. When Liv Morgan claps back at fans, it's considered fun. When Rhea does the same, people attack Rhea. People attack Liv as well. Everyone's attacking everyone. Let's be fair, it's wrestling. Fans think it's fun because it's fun. And essentially they don't think it's fun when it's someone that they don't support. In reality, it's fun. It's just fun. Nice and easy. Leon says, your thoughts on the new Smackdown logo? I think it's okay, a bit more cartoony than I expected, but to be fair, Raw is going to be the grown-up show, and that means Smackdown can be the more kid-friendly show, which is interesting when you factor in The Rock. Trekopedia says, I did see on WWE's Vault channel, had a video about finding artifacts with a thumbnail of the fist. They know what they're doing there. Trekopedia says, no more blackouts either, which you guys did tell me was a real problem last time around. Mark says, hey Tom and chat, haven't been here for a while due to work and life. You are a very busy man, to be fair. Hope the family are well and see the wall is a lot better than the last time I saw it. Yes and no. Okay, so a lot of work still needs to be done on the house. Everyone's probably fully aware of this at this point. A lot of work still needs doing. So I've shifted focus slightly and I'm doing things slightly differently. So this is a clear painted white wall, nice and easy. It's in the corner away from the door. I still need to break the walls down. The challenge is not to sing Jericho's theme in your head. I need to break the walls down. So what I'm going to do is break those walls down. They're mostly done already. I'm taking a layer of plaster off. Then I'm going to paint them white. Then I'm going to take up these floorboards, which is why I got the echo in here. Lay down a carpet. Bit of soundproofing, bit of sound dampening should be great. Only problem is it's going to take a lot of time and effort. And a lot of money. But you know, time and effort primarily, at least right now. So yeah, it's certainly different. Certainly different. Dawn says, hi all. Welcome, Dawn. Wrestler fan says, will Roman Reigns be wrestling a Bad Blood? I'm not sure. My predictions are already live on PLE Wednesdays last week. One says, hey Tom. Dave Meltzer reported the AEW deal is done. It's as accurate as me winning the lottery. Yeah, he's been reporting that for a while. Entertainment says, hey everyone. Hey Entertainment, nice to see you. Robin Dave says, hopefully Uso will make a return to help Roman. Jimmy Uso would be a good call here. Corey says, sorry I have to ask you about MCMG and Lucha Brothers. It's kind of funny. It is. I'm glad I was able to give you some information on that before it became more public knowledge. I'm glad I was able to at least justify your attendance here, mate. Bliss Gamer says, howdy everyone. Hello, Bliss Gamer. John G says, hey Tom. Hello, John G. Jar Game says, happy Friday, Tom. With AEW hinting at big signings, the subtlety of Ric Flair after 5 gin and tonics, is there anything to read into Ospreay continually using the Styles Clash? No, he's used that his entire career. That's not any sort of hint or dig. That is something he has used his entire career. Ed is here, says, hey everyone. Si's here as well, saying evening all. I'm wondering if, given that you've turned up at the same time, you might be chatting on Discord. Corey said, weird AJ hasn't been on TV, hope all is well. To my knowledge it is, he's just taking a break. PWInsider have, unfortunately, got a bad record when it comes to AJ Styles information. Vicky says, good evening Tom, hope all is well. Doing well, thank you Vicky, good to see you. Six says, we all know the Rock won't return tonight, get that out of the way. Do we all know that? Do we all know that? Spiderboss says, TKO's X account retweeted Triple H's post hyping SmackDown. Could that mean The Rock is coming? No. Spider-Boss also says, who do you think will be Kevin Owens' mystery tag team partner for tonight? I honestly can't see anyone. Cody says we're getting new logo tonight for WWE Smackdown. Yes, we are. If you want to see what that logo looks like, pop over to the Shorts feed on this channel. I've got a bit of a clip there. Chris says, good evening, Tom. Good evening, Chris. Bailey says, Kevin Owens is now 40. His son is bigger than he is. His son is pretty buff. Pretty buff. Spider-Boss says, Cody versus Solo 2 opening SmackDown. I think Roman will cost the match to Solo. You are not alone. Spider-Boss says, it would be cool to see a stare down between Roman and The Rock at the end of SmackDown. I don't see it. Wiggly says, what up, mate? Spider-Boss says, apart from Roman, who do you think could help Cody versus the new bloodline tonight? Sammy? Never can tell. And Spider-Boss says, do you think Rhea versus Liv at Bad Blood should have a special stipulation? Yes. Hell in a Cell. I also think it's going to. Daz says, big up Tom, any AEW news? Kind of yes. Kind of. It's about contract negotiation for a free agent. So kind of yes. Welcome, mate. Roger says, I'll be watching TNA Victory Road pay-per-view instead of SmackDown. You're welcome to do so. TNA doing a very good job at the moment. It says, Tom needs to say hi, guys, as he breaks the walls down. Do you remember when a little bit of the bubbly was genuinely over? Do you remember when Chris Jericho was genuinely over? It was like a lifetime ago. Chris says, how many debuts returns can we expect tonight? I would say 2 returns. Maybe even 3. Debuts, not so much. Finley dropping W's in the chat. Thank you, Finley. Appreciate you. That does boost the chat rate, and it genuinely... Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell anyone off for spamming, because it genuinely boosts the chat rate. It's a silly thing, but it guarantees more viewership. Tessa Rangel, thank you very kindly for joining and subscribing on the YouTube side. We are in a very strong position for subscribers at the moment, and I appreciate you joining and becoming one more. We currently have 6,889, which means we are 11, just 11, away from 6,900, and then en route to 7. It's been a very good month so far. More than 250 new subscribers this month alone, which is good. About 1,400 more so far this year. We did hit 5,000 last year, but not by much. So, good times. Good times. Trying to keep an eye on the X chat as well, but it doesn't look like anyone is chatting there. Trekipedia says, keep going, folks. Let's get to 40 likes. Share, like, and subscribe to help out our friend Tom. One more gets us there. One more to get to 40. I'd appreciate it. Entertainment says, question for people in the chat who watch NXT. What do you guys think about Wendy's character since joining with Rosemary? I think her character feels more fleshed out and intriguing. There was an intention to flesh out a couple of the characters that have been in NXT for a while and haven't necessarily hit their momentum yet. Ed might be the best person to answer that one for you. Rosar says, SmackDown really doesn't have much announced, just 3 matches. Are there any other big things happening outside of Roman returning? Yes. Mark says, how are WWE feeling about the TNA partnership? Thrilled. Very happy overall with how things are going. I've mentioned this in previous videos, that they're essentially using TNA as a feeder promotion to their feeder promotion. And it's working out pretty well. They're very happy with Joe Hendry, Rosemary. They're very happy with sending people over, particularly because it's not really helping TNA all that much. But the idea is that they will eventually be able to have Jordan Grace, and there's no real concerns about that. They just benefit. There's only benefit. Cody says, what's up, Tom? Yes, SmackDown is back on USA. New logo, new theme song, and no more damn black screen. Welcome, Cody. Robin Day says, The Rock comes back tonight. What do you think we will talk about? I think he'll attack Cody Rhodes. That's what I'm thinking. I don't think we'll see him at War Games. I think it'll be a build to WrestleMania, but Cody's got someone else in the way first. Marcel says, hi, Tom, not active in the chat today, working the night shift, listening to it as a podcast. Well, thank you very kindly, Marcel. I appreciate that. We are capable of podcasting here. That's a situation that really works out well for everyone involved, so I appreciate it. Lots of W's being dropped from the chat. Shar Game enjoys that. I can't see everything. See anyone. Dropper says everything is on the table, which was for a while a big thing. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it. 6 says if The Rock comes back tonight, it'll overshadow whatever Roman will do. And is it true that the Lucha Brothers signed to WWE? Firstly, 6, I think you're right. It would overshadow Roman unless The Rock and Roman do something. For example, stand side by side over Cody Rhodes. What I will say as regards to Lucha Brothers, they have not signed with the WWE. Not yet, anyway. Super Pony says, who will be KO's mystery partner? Can't see anyone. Kevin spamming the chat. I like that you just say spam the chat. That's a great way of doing it, Kevin. I appreciate you. Mike Kennedy says, you deserve the success. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. It's a very nice thing to say. Spider-Boss says, any update on Daniel Garcia? Not at this time. The last update I had was as regards the fact that he was waiting on promises to be kept before signing a new deal with AEW. Bailey says, when did Drew McIntyre find the time for a supporting role in the Dave Bautista movie? Are other WWE performers scheduled to do likewise in other promotions? Yes. As regards finding the time, the WWE booked him the time by taking him off live events. It's one of the reasons they're reducing live events so they can do other things. Spider-Boss says, I think that the special stipulation for Liv versus Rhea Bad Blood should be if anyone from the Judgment Day gets involved, Liv loses the title. That would make it very easy for Raquel Rodriguez to get involved. Sai says, my wild guess at KO's partner tonight is Cena, with no info or any solid reasoning at all. That would be a wild guess on my part. I have no inside information. I honestly can't tell you anything at all. Ed says, Wendy Chu's been doing good work for a long time. The Rosemary connection has only made it better. Thank you for jumping in on that one, Ed. Mark says, Rosemary makes it more interesting but good. Wrestler fan says, he got me thinking John Cena was returning for a second, then realised it was you can't see me joke. It was. It definitely was. It was just a joke. The other Mike says, I know you said WWE is thrilled, but how is TNA feeling? Are they thrilled as well? They benefit from it, though I will say there are limitations to the benefit that they receive. To my knowledge, TNA are happy. I would say happy. Thrilled, I wouldn't go as far as, but I would say happy. I definitely read your comment. If you want to double check and just type it out again, I'll respond to it again. I'm happy to do that. Sid says, Heather Reckless looks like a good wrestler on a debut match in TNA. Her name did pop up. I checked her out. She does look interesting. Rosar says, Survivor Series already sold 15k in one day with crazy prices. Very insane. People are paying that much for tickets. People love it. It's War Games. Sorry, let me try again. It's War Games! Not my best work. Not my best work. Trout Bear says, any news on WrestleMania tickets being released? Likely at the beginning of next year, end of this year. Kelly says, hey guys. Hi Kelly. We have Matter in here as well. Welcome. Shah Game says, what do you think the odds are of Claudio Cesaro coming back to WWE after his current contract expires? There'd be interest from the WWE, but I don't think it would be enough interest to really validate it. Sid said the YouTube stream is going perfect. Thank you, Sid. The Rabbit said there's a Wyatt 6 American-made feud done. I don't believe so just yet, despite the fact it was pretty conclusive on Raw. Kevin says the Wyatt 6 done of American-made. Would happily watch Nikki take them all on again. Nikki will get her moment, I'm sure. As I did mention previously, when it comes to Nikki Cross, there is not much in the way of plans for her to be too heavily involved in the women's division. She will mostly be there working with the working to back up the Wyatt 6. I can see Kevin saying, watch the pig. For those who remember what I'm saying, give me a watch the pig. It's just a phrase I love. Robin Dave says, 2 months away from War Games. It's crazy to think we're getting Bloodline versus Bloodline. Spider-Boss says, who do you think will be Mercedes Money's next opponent? I was hoping Julia Hart, but we get what we get. Pete says, evening all, didn't realise you were live, but here now. Welcome, Pete. Ed says, Blackpool Bill would be sad with you for that War Games, Tom. He would. It's very unnerving when you meet William Regal. Very, very unnerving, because he shakes your hand very politely and says, hi, I'm Darren. No, you're not. That is not acceptable. You are not. Steve says, Fox replaced SmackDown with a college football game. 2 top 25 schools that might do better ratings. Interesting. Super Pony says, when will KO turn heel? I don't believe he will. The teaser of Kevin Owens turning heel is just to build to Randy Orton turning heel. Just to build to Randy Orton. We have 121 people watching on the YouTube side, 47 likes. 3 more gets us to 50. Let's get those 3 in. Let's absolutely get those 3 in. I want to talk briefly about NXT now before I get back to the chat. WWE are, as Wrestling Observer have reported, are loading up NXT in the hope of reaching 1 million viewers. Essentially, at this point, NXT has become their de facto AEW combat, you know? NXT is becoming a third brand, and the CW, they're trying to make it very conclusive. They're trying to make it much like they did when SmackDown first moved to Fox, when they got in the region of 4 million viewers. They are loading this up. The previous time when they did this with NXT, they had The Undertaker turn up to chokeslam Bron Breakker in a move that many believed had ended Bron Breakker's career. Thankfully, it didn't. The Undertaker has not been contacted, I can confirm at this point. But there are plenty who have. There are some names we're already aware of, CM Punk and Randy Orton, naturally, but there are names that have been spoken about to appear that haven't really been mentioned yet, those being Gunter and John Cena. I can confirm that both Gunter and John Cena have been spoken to, as has Bayley. So we are expecting to see quite a few NXT originals, and a few that never really were the big NXT names. I would be particularly surprised if we didn't see, for example, Seth Rollins, and while he was a big NXT name, John Cena, definitely not. Plenty more news to come. We've got Bobby Lashley and MVP contract negotiations. We're talking the training of Julia, Stephanie Vaca and Delta, the new SmackDown logo, something involving LA Knight that I need some advice on because I don't get it, and a little bit of news on Bayley beyond what I've already reported. Right. Bliss Gamer says, watch the pig. Chris Allen says, watch the pig. Mark is watching the pig. Dave is watching the pig. This is it, guys. This is it. This is what we need. Joe says, I have a question about the Netflix for next year. Fire away, mate. Dane says, why do you think Ring of Honor is not that good? Because Tony Khan essentially focuses on it last when he's already used all his creative energies. Kelly's been watching the pig. WrestleFan is watching the pig. Vicky is watching. Trekkipedia is watching. Joe says, come on everyone, let's get to 50 likes. We did. We got to 56 likes. Thank you, guys. 4 more to 60. Just throwing that out there. Robin Dave says, I can't believe that the Royal Rumble is in February next year. Yeah, that just seems extreme to me. Nothing I could possibly imagine. Ross says, evening, Tom. I'm late in. What did I miss? A little bit on what's happening on SmackDown tonight. You might want to zip back to the beginning for it. Ed says they've got Punk, Miz and Jade and Bianca on the October 1st show. Crazy times. So I have very literal watching of the pig. In fact, it took me a minute to think that it wasn't a Karrion Kross reference. Will says, have you heard of them doing a women's war games? At this point in time, I have not. I know there's rumours out there. I haven't heard anything just yet. Spiderboss says, watch some clips from last year. Regal hinted Moxley was the one who could turn on BCC, and it was Moxley who turned on Bryan. It was a long-term intention to essentially separate Moxley, as he's believed to be the biggest star. Then he says, Josh Alexander said to Joe Hendry it should have been him in NXT, not Joe Hendry. They know what they're doing with that one. Joe says, Tom, when do you expect John Cena to next return? Honestly, I have no idea. Spare says, do you think The Rock will show up tonight? I'm genuinely not sure. I do know, as I reported at the beginning of this, that he's had some input in creative. For more on The Rock, zip back to the beginning of the stream and you'll get the information there. Marcel says, I'll start my break when the show starts so I can watch the opening match. Good man. Good man. Ron says, watch the pig. I'm back after zipping back. Good man. Super Pony says, what are the chances Kevin Owens goes to AEW? About 1%, I'd give it. Joe says, my question is next. If Raw events are on Netflix, would you have to pay for them? You'd have to pay for Netflix. That's all. Shark Game says, we're about to hear Tom say Hawk Tour. What a time to be alive. Yeah, I don't understand it. I'm going to skip ahead to that because, Shark Game, you're absolutely right. And you've got me. Because I don't get it. I don't get it. LA Knight was Macho Man. A seemingly random person was Miss Elizabeth. This was encouraged by the WWE. He was given time off to go to this photo shoot. I don't understand the world anymore. Am I just old? Is 36 ancient? I mean, look at this. Look at that. Look at that. Lockdown happened and I immediately went grey. We all know this. We all know it. What on earth? I don't understand it. And I don't want to know more. But guys, what the hell? Naturally, WWE is taking advantage of a viral moment and a viral person. And they're essentially trying to keep themselves as viral as possible for as long as possible. That 15 minutes continues. And honestly, credit to them because we live in a very fast-moving world. LA Knight just trying to get the rub. Trying to get the rub. It's a common phrase in wrestling. It somehow feels seedy today. And no Zayn, no NWA news, unfortunately. Though I am following a couple of wrestlers from NWA who I'm quite excited by at the moment. I'll tell you more if I get anything. Trekkipedia said, grew up watching The Frog, but now it's time to watch The Pig. I also watched The Frog, the legend that is World's most dangerous frog. Oh, Chris, 47, cool. Then it says, who do you think will be inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame at Bound for Glory? Not sure. Super Pony says, will either one of the mid-card titles be defended on Bad Blood? The Intercontinental Championship seems likely for that one. It was, it was a while back. Whoever she is, you're getting good advice. Shiogarath says, her time has come and gone here in England. I'm in England. Apparently she's still going. Wrestler Fan says, is the Hall of Fame going to be happening next year? Yes, it is. And Corey says, I mean, Elena is also a Slim Jim guy like Matt. That's fair. That's fair. There are definite comparisons to be made. Also, Slim Jim's hot tip. No, stop it. Stop it. Bad. Bad and wrong. It's fair point, Mark. She's making a lot from that. Making a lot. Spider-Man says, it caught my attention that Darby put his title match on the line versus Moxley at Grand Slam. I think Darby should win. I don't think he's going to. Next piece of news is as regards Bobby Lashley and MVP. Now, Bobby Lashley and MVP are actively negotiating as a unit with AEW. AEW are believed to be their first choice destination due to having a contract on offer from Tony Khan that allows independent working. Essentially, this will mean that Bobby Lashley can work wherever he wants to work, while also still under contract with AEW. The money on offer is believed to be good, though not necessarily great, primarily because the dates are a lot lower, which means that overall he'll be earning more per appearance than he was in the WWE, but he'll be making substantially less appearances, so over the course of the contract he may earn less. That said, naturally, it allows him to work elsewhere, which will then increase his income. MVP has also been offered quite a decent amount to follow in the footsteps of the big shows, the Mark Henrys and the like. MVP, however, is believed to want to wrestle, which is not necessarily something that Tony Khan wants to make happen. Not necessarily something that Tony Khan wants to make happen. Sean says, who do you think Kevin Owens' partner will be against Grayson and Austin? I cannot see anyone. Lauren says, I heard you need hot tour. I got you, boss man. Now, I think there's some words missing there, Lauren. I appreciate the backup. I'm not necessarily looking for that backup. Not right now, anyway. You're one of the only people I can make that joke with. Joe Gang says, I'm 34 and I don't get it either, so don't feel alone. But credit to WWE for branching out and trying to get more eyes on the product as they can. I don't doubt it, Lord Shio. Roger says, will Charlotte Flair return on SmackDown? I think it's possible. It's definitely worth mentioning, as I've mentioned a few times now, Charlotte Flair has been cleared for a while. They're just waiting for the storyline. Charlotte Flair has been cleared for a while. Marco was saying good advice. That doesn't necessarily mean a manager. Cody says, a Monday Night Raw going back to 2 hours starting October 7th through December 30th. It's going to feel a little weird having Monday Night Raw being 2 hours once again for the time being. It is very much for the time being. However, yeah, that's going to be a weird one. Laura says, any update on Jimmy Uso? I have something of an update on Jimmy Uso. I'm told he's planning to be in attendance tonight. Now, I don't know if he's going to pop up necessarily, but he's been in contact with the WWE planning his return. Again, I don't necessarily know if he's fully ready to jump in, but to my knowledge, Jimmy Uso is going to be there tonight. It's always nice to have a bit of extra information there. So far on the X side, we've had 208 viewers. 208 is a nice number. That said, it can't compete with the 262 we've had on YouTube, so nice. Lauren says, one of those man on the street TikTok accounts was asking drunk girls what their special secret move in bed is, and a blonde lady says, oh yeah, you got a hot tour and sped on that thing. With a silly moment, the lady is making the very best of the situation. Also, thank you for the Warner Brothers Discovery deal update. That pivoted fast. Appreciate it. Dwayne says SmackDown's going to be a banger tonight. Chris says Bayley gets a rematch for the WWE Women's Championship at Bad Blood. Wouldn't be against it. They need to give something for the women's division on SmackDown. Super Pony says, will Randy be on the show tonight? I expect so, yes. Kelly says, what's next for the Wyatt Six? Are they still going to feud with American Made, or Are they moving on, and if so, who with? At the moment, to my knowledge, they are still working with American Made to fully establish themselves. They are not 100% as regards the next steps, and they're still working those steps out. There are some disagreements between Bo Dallas and the WWE creative team. That's not unusual, and in no way is it problematic, but they're still working out what the next steps are going to be. Devil says, can we expect the Theory face turn to finally happen tonight? Not tonight, no, I'm not expecting it, but they are building up towards it. I would expect it to be happening before the end of the year. Razar says, is SmackDown moving networks early? I thought it was supposed to happen in October, along with NXT. It is moving exactly when it was expected to. The move isn't quite synced up. They just announced them at very similar times. Sid said, have you met any wrestlers? Yeah, I've met quite a few. I've met Nikki Cross, Cedric Alexander, Cesaro, Rey Mysterio, Triple H several times, William Regal, quite a lot of people from NXT UK. I've met Gunter a couple of times, and he's currently the World Heavyweight Champion, so that's lovely. Very happy about that. And then there's a number of others I've met in the course of my work, many of which I won't be mentioning for obvious reasons. But I'm also a big fan of some of the more local wrestlers that you can see. I'm a big fan of Hannah Taylor, for example, who I think is worth checking out. And I met Dakota Kai when she was still Evie way back when. David says, why is Raw going back to 2 hours for the time being? Did USA Network want this? Yeah, pretty much. Dwayne says, hope everyone's doing good, and you're doing good with the replies, bro. Appreciate you, Dwayne. Juan says, hey, Tom, despite AEW putting great quality shows with a creative team, why do they bleed viewers quicker than WWE? Reputation or TK's reputation to blame? I think the problems are still exactly what they've always been. The retention rate isn't strong. They're not keeping the viewers that they've got. Lord Shigar says, any real news on Alexa Bliss yet? The crazy rumours on her role and her return are getting crazy. I've unfortunately shared everything I have on that one. I haven't had an update in a few weeks now. I'm still confident we're going to see her soon. She is cleared, she is ready. They're just waiting for the right storyline. I believe that is part of what they're discussing now with the Wyatt Six. Laurie says, what happened to Jimmy Uso? Did he really suffer an injury? Yes, he did, and it's taken him some time to recover. Leon says, the Gunter's hand's massive in person? Yes. I need to try and find the pictures that I took with Gunter, because I look tiny. I'm 5'10". I'm not a tall man, but I'm also not a small man. Gunter, bit bigger. Bailey says, per WrestleTalk, 13,423 tickets sold for SmackDown this evening. Still a little catch up there. Sean says, surprise, a cage match is opening. I figured it would main event. Do you see Roman getting involved? Yes. Spider-Boss says, seems TK challenges in a Teddy Long with back-to-back tag team matches on AEW Dynamite. Tag team wrestling's alive and well. Also says, 31 still don't get the beef between Rhea's fans versus Liv's. Some people believe it's real. They genuinely do. Amari says hi. Welcome, Amari. 67 likes, 3 more to get us to 70, 114 viewers. I believe that you can do it. Next up, we are talking the training regimes for new NXT talent in the women's division. Julia, Stephanie Vaca and Delta are already training at the Performance Center in the WWE style with wrestlers like Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill and Naomi. There's a number of wrestlers from the main roster who are spending quite a bit more time in NXT at the moment. I mentioned Bayley earlier and she is definitely one of them. Charlotte Flair has also been in the Performance Center recently. So Julia, Stephanie Vaca and Delta are working with a variety of different wrestlers from the main roster women's division to try and get them up to speed nice and quickly with the WWE style. The WWE believe that all 3 of them are nearly ready and they're just going to basically phase them in over time. Julia has already arrived. Stephanie Vaca is next once she's learned the WWE style. Delta they're going to take a little more time with presentation and entrance. But WWE are confident that there's very, very exciting days ahead. And based on what those individual wrestlers who are training with them are telling people, the wrestlers are excited as well. There's a number of wrestlers who are trying to organise matches against Julia. There's also someone who's very eager to wrestle Stephanie Vaca already. It's Bayley. It's always Bayley. It's always going to be Bayley. Joe Games is happy for Bobby Lashley getting good money from AEW. Crestfallen is going to be irrelevant quicker than most. Tony books bigger guys the same way Vince books smaller guys, which is horribly kind of fair. Alexa would be a perfect target for Nikki Cross. Would love to see that happen. I agree. Mark says, Julia is already proven to be a draw of all the views she got on her debut. I bet WWE are happy. WWE knew exactly what they were getting and are very, very eager to continue the hype. Amari says, I don't think Jimmy will return. I don't think Rock will return, but maybe Charlotte or Paul. By Paul, do you mean Logan Paul or Paul Levesque? Laurie says, what is the latest on the man Becky Lynch? Her contract is ready and waiting for her whenever she wishes to return. She's taken an extended break. The WWE do have plans in place that involve her at WrestleMania and the Royal Rumble. So unless she chooses to extend, I would expect that to be the time when she returns. Cal says, hey Tom, hope you and the family are well. As always, what did you think of the Wyatt 6 versus American Made Street Fight? How did Backstage think of it? WWE are thrilled, very happy so far with the involvement of the Wyatt 6 and ultimately want to move them on now to something new, but are worried about leaving American Made behind. Oh, Spider-Boss suggests by Paul, he thinks it's the wise man Paul Heyman, which Amari is also saying. Appreciate that. Yep, that makes sense. Kelly says, I'm so excited for Stephanie Vaca to debut. She is so good. Daz says, do you see Darby Allin joining Moxley's faction? Not necessarily. Still, wouldn't hate it. Quick thing I do want to mention to everyone watching at the moment, we are getting closer and closer to 7,000 subscribers. We currently have 6,890. 10 more gets us to 6,900, which is a great place to be. I saw someone ask, I can't remember who, but I saw someone ask earlier how the shorts are doing, so I'm going to let you in on something. So far this month, I've received 156,900 views. By far, the biggest number I've ever had. 117,000, more than I normally get. Pretty substantial. 246 new subscribers as well. The numbers are numbering, and I'm very happy about it. I can confirm that I have now beaten my total number of views from last year. So any extra views now are a bonus. But when it comes to views, this is the best period the channel has ever seen. The vast majority of those views are coming from intelligent use of shorts. You will note, of course, that I've changed the way I'm using my shorts. And those shorts are feeding these live shows to a small degree, per se, but they are feeding the live shows. And they're also feeding a lot of the videos that I'm making. So it's working out pretty well. Shorts essentially feed each other because the more people watch shorts on the shorts feed of my channel, the more they're going to be fed in future. So I've changed things to really work with the search algorithm, and that's guaranteeing a pretty big boost on the shorts feed. Things are going very, very well for this channel right now. Very well. We're now only 9 away from 6,900. Thank you to whoever just subscribed. We are getting closer and closer, and this channel is becoming more and more just bigger. It's just getting bigger. And I can only say a massive thank you to all of you for helping me with this. Spider-Boss says, any update on Raquel Rodriguez's return? As she is cleared, she is ready to go. The WWE are plugging her in shortly. I am now expecting we will see her working with Liv Morgan, though personally I think we'll see Liv Morgan against Raquel Rodriguez as a break in between Liv versus Rhea. I think Liv versus Rhea will happen again at the Rumble personally, so I do think potentially we're seeing Liv Morgan versus Raquel Rodriguez in Saudi Arabia, for example. Hey KJ. You may be KJ. Mark says, I saw your shorts today getting so much views and was so happy for you. Appreciate that, Mark. This is something that you might potentially benefit from as well. Changing these shorts to suit search, so using SEO terms, using the right phrases, using WWE Smackdown, and if you're watching Bad Blood, using WWE Bad Blood 2024, stuff like that. That's going to get you views. That's going to happen. Use that. You know what I mean? Will says, have you heard if WWE is thinking about putting the NXT title on Julia in her first title match with Roxanne, and how the other women in NXT feel? Yes, WWE are intending to do that. The other women in NXT, in my mind, and to my knowledge, pretty happy about it. We have our first comment from X. Welcome, Word of Wrestling. Good to see you. If you have any questions, jump on in. Dad says the quizzes are good as well. Yeah, I do realise I've dropped the ball a little bit on those in the past couple of weeks. We did get a good run going. The focus on shorts has sort of taken that away. I am learning to juggle. They are coming back. Don't you worry. Mark says, question on that. Does that mean that the hashtags are less important than the title? Hashtags and shorts don't go together at all. YouTube doesn't use them. Doesn't use them. Late Talker Jason says, hey Tom, it's been a long time. Happy for your continued success. Thank you, Jay. Appreciate you. And Spider-Man says, Liv Morgan's title reign feels stale. I think Rhea should win the title at Bad Blood. We'll see how that one goes. 77 likes, 3 more gets us to 80 on the YouTube side. At this point, Word says, where's the live chat? Is it YouTube? We've got a number of live chats at the moment. We do have one on X where you've joined, but as you'll undoubtedly be aware, kind of quiet over there. So we don't often go onto X, so that's kind of why. YouTube is where the vast majority of the chat is. There's also a little bit on Twitch. You are welcome to use whatever platform suits you best. If that's X, I'll be reading out your commentary there. And if you want to pop over to YouTube or Twitch, you're of course welcome to do that also. The Rabbit says, is Liv dropping the belt back to Rhea at Bad Blood or not? I suspect Rhea will retain the championship. Mark says, it does use them when I upload it from my phone and have to put a few on them. They don't change anything. They don't change views. Thank you, Word. Appreciate that. Anime Fiend says hi. Welcome, Anime Fiend. Good to see you. We suddenly have a couple of people on the X side. Welcome, everyone. X has already had nearly 300 views. It's competing with YouTube. It genuinely is. One says, according to RSRS, the enemy, he believes AEW will get renewed by Warner Brothers Discovery but has no idea when the deal will be signed. He also believes that until AEW signs it, no pyro for the weekly shows. Yeah, so he's reported that many times for months now. Anime Fiend says, do you think Judgment Day is the next feud for the Wyatt Six? I wouldn't hate it. Honestly, I think they go together really well. Particularly with the Wyatt Six being the faces here. And it could mean tag team championships, which I'm not really loving as an idea. But Wyatt Six are focused on being wrestlers at the moment. Championship gold could work. No worries, Mark. You will note that while my shorts are doing relatively well, I've got no hashtags on them. I think, unfortunately, that information is just outdated. It happens. Last piece of information I wanted to share is about Bayley. Bayley is getting major plaudits right now, including in this show, as you've heard multiple times, for being a locker room leader. And I do like to share information like this. Bayley is the most respected woman in the WWE at the moment. The most respected woman in the WWE right now. Thank you very much, Yi Joe Uso, for following on the Twitch side. Bayley's in a position right now where she is the focal point of the SmackDown Women's division, but as each generation comes up from NXT, they are more influenced by the wrestling style and work of Bayley. She's having a massive impact on wrestling all across the world right now. And I do think it's definitely worth reporting the love, respect, and affection that Bayley is receiving. There's a new SmackDown logo. If you want to check it out, by all means, just pop over to the short side there. Word of Wrestling says, I made it over. Welcome, Word of Wrestling. Thank you very much for making that transition. For those not already aware, we are live every Monday and every Friday at this time with spoiler warning. This is a rarity on X. Quite a rarity. Yes, Calvin, I've seen the new stage. I've posted a short detailing that as well. This is a rarity as it's on X, but that's just a way to sort of help spread the word. If this is of interest to you, pop over to the YouTube or the Twitch and you'll find me twice a week, as well as watch parties, quizzes, plenty of good stuff, and a very active chat. Very active chat indeed. Word of Wrestling says, shout out to Kelly the Wise for the details of this live. Kelly doing the work. Appreciate you. Mark says, you. Joseph Gregory says, could Rhea Ripley cost Liv the title to someone else? Possibly, yes. It's not really a heel thing to do, though. Not really a face thing to do, though. Calvin says, can you see John Cena appearing tonight? Well, you can't see him. Spiderball says Mercedes Money versus Stephanie Vacker at Forbidden Door, plus Stephanie Vacker on the map. After that match, WWE showed interest. Yes, they did. Wiggly says, how do I access the live chat on X? I should be popping up in the top right corner of your X feed. If you click on that, you go across to the chat there. It goes to the broadcast page where you can see Word of Wrestling and Anime Feed have indeed been chatting, and I can in fact reply to them, which is always nice. Spiderball says Bayley is praised, respected, but when WWE book her as a champion, she loses clean on free TV, and fans are upset. She isn't. She was really excited to lose the championship. Genuinely was. Trekkipedia is trying to get to 85 likes. We're only one away from 80. Might be a push, mate. Loving what you're doing, Word of Wrestling. Saying hi to everyone. I like what's going on there. It's great to see so many people interacting. It's good for the sense of community. It's also good for the chat rate as well. So I just really appreciate it. Corey, once again, very generous. Thank you kindly. It says, real question though, what is going on with AJ? AJ Styles is just taking a break. There is not going to be any problems here. We are expecting AJ to return soon. He has limited time left in his contract. There are negotiations ongoing to potentially bring him into a new contract. He, to my knowledge, was expecting this one to be his last one. So it might be a bit of a rough negotiation. But that's where he is. And that's where we're waiting for. Calvin says, do you think A-Town Down Under is splitting tonight? If so, who turns on who? I don't. I think it'll be this year, but I don't think it'll be tonight. Rodney says, any news of Jay and Sammy getting traded to SmackDown? No, we're not there yet. Kelly says, thank you, Pesty. More people need to know of Tom. He's been spot on every piece of information I've heard. I appreciate that, Kelly. I try my best. I appreciate that. Lake Talk says, Tom, where is Tegan Knox? There are concerns about Tegan Knox, unfortunately. The WWE don't necessarily think that she's going to be able to recover from some of the injuries that she's had. It's concerning. Also, really happy with so many of you responding to and hitting like on Corey Mitchell's generous donation there. 5 likes, 3 comments. Absolutely love it. Loving the vibe here tonight, guys. Keep it up. I absolutely love this. Kevin says, Bayley's awesome, but nobody sees Bayley like a big star, apart from the WWE. Thank you, Ed, for dropping that link to the Discord as well. Mark says, are WWE happy the best world champion ever, Gunter? Yeah, I reported how this one was going pretty early on. Gunter was always expected to, around SummerSlam time, become the champion. In the end, they picked their moment well, I feel. And he's going to be pretty strongly a focal point until I expect him to lose it at WrestleMania. BM says, good evening, Tom. Hope you're having a great show. Twitter feed is up to 313 views. YouTube's on 356. So close. Spider-Boss says, I'd rather see another Charlotte title reign rather than keep watching Liv as champion. You will get your moment. Don't you worry. Sheograph says, I think SmackDown is lacking a decent darker character. Maybe bring Tatum Paxley in to bring that darker side and a hint of madness. Ooh. Word of Wrestling says, we're all excited. Tonight will be a big surprise. I think SmackDown's not been great, but tonight it will be. Love the community and shared opinions. Appreciate you. King Az says, Tom, do you see Jimmy Uso costing Solo? No. The Rabbit says, if Sammy and Jay are getting traded to SmackDown, who's going to Raw? I don't think they're traded. I think it's War Games. They'll appear on the other side, but they won't stick around. Char Games says, KO has mentioned in the past that his son is training for wrestling. Do you think that's something that's playing a part in his WWE contract negotiations? No, though to be fair, this did happen with Rey Mysterio. His contract with the WWE did include clauses stating that Dominic Mysterio would debut on the main roster. That's how that started. Late Talk says, that's a shame. I think they could link up Tegan and Dakota together again as a tag team. Dakota Kai also injured at the moment, unfortunately. Calvin says WWE should really consider doing a Thanksgiving special. Have some superstars appear on the Macy's parade and then a special on NBC that night. That would be epic. I do believe that is the plan. Yeah, I very much appreciate Days for that Word of Wrestling. We very much show love here for him as well and the work that he does. I'm disappointed that I'm not able to show up in more of his shows. But usually when he's doing a live watch party, I'm asleep. So that's unfortunate. That's just the way the cookie crumbles, unfortunately. Mark says, loving the supervillain vibe he's doing right now. I'm a very happy man. Kelly the Wise is ex-post guiding me here too. Wow. Wonderful. Very much appreciated. That's really spreading the word, Kelly. Thank you. Trekipedia says, did you see Isla Dawn deactivated Twitter? Hope she's okay. And she's very kind. I've met Isla Dawn twice, I think. Very nice woman. I really do hope that she's okay, whatever the situation is. Mark says, there was a pic of Obafemi at Raw. Is Triple H looking to bring him up soon? Relatively soon. Relatively. Rosar says, Natalia returned on Raw. What's her position in WWE now that she re-signed? Will she get more opportunities on TV than before? Not really. It won't be very different from what she had, but she's happy there. Spider-Boss says, the role models inspired some of the young women that are in the NXT women's division. Roxanne has some of the role models on her style. She does. And also says, do you think Damian Priest could get his revenge on Finn Balor at Bad Blood? I think it'll be incredibly anticlimactic and we'll all end up with a bit of blue balls. King Alice says, I don't see Roman Reigns returning tonight. If he were to return, the steel cage would have to main event. Where Wrestling says, main event makes sense for a Roman return. Let's see what's planned to close the show. To be fair, we could open with Jimmy and end with Roman. Trekipedia says, Isla was saying not to bring a woman down to compliment her. I'm like, very kind, and I agree wholeheartedly with her. Yeah, she's absolutely right. You don't have to say, this person's prettier than this person. You could just say, this person's pretty. Should be simple. Ah, Ed, thank you. The picture of Obafemi at Rhodes from the night he'd take a main event match. This guy knows his stuff. We respect Ed in this chat. Calvin says someone was putting down some female superstars. Isla spoke up. Read it on Sportskeeda. Appreciate you for sourcing, Calvin. Chris says Bailey is my role model. Word says I should be asleep now, but I'm in the UK and can't be late to the party. To be fair, it is nearly 11 PM. I'll be following you, don't you worry. Kelly says, I'm so glad people are coming here. I'll keep sharing. I appreciate you for that. It's a very nice thing to do, and it's a big help here, and I appreciate you. Mark says, I haven't been here for a while. Don't know if he talked about, so going to ask about Vince's doc on Netflix. How much influence has WWE Triple H had on it? Nick Khan has had more influence, but the WWE were not able to determine what happened with this. They do not have a production credit, but they were originally planning to. They've distanced themselves. One says, Mercedes Money praised AEW All Out, then said the plastic bag was rough to watch. Yeah. She straddles the fence well. Spider-Boss says, what do you think about this version of the Judgment Day? It's missing something. Something to root for. Trekipedia suggests an Obafemi Royal Rumble spot. I would be down. Sorry guys, I've got a bit of hiccups now. Joseph says, what's the chance of unexpected winners at the Royal Rumble? Every winner is always unexpected because we don't get told who's going to win beforehand. And Ed says, I must protect my big... So, for those that don't know, that's not a phrase I'm going to read out. We have had 388 views, very close to 400 on the YouTube side. On the Twitter side, 341, as well as plenty on the Twitch side as well. So things are going really, really very well. We have gotten a little bit closer to our 6,900 subscribers, only 9 away now. And I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who's joined me today. We are going to wrap up there. We peaked at 124 viewers, 82 likes. Massive thank you to Corey for your generosity as well. What I will say now is that I've been Tom Colohue, you've been fantastic, and I'll see you all on Monday.